Hi there, my name is Stanley Steen from Team Deberoo, and in this video we are going to review AdMaven's push ads platform. So we're going to check out what kind of traffic they have and how we can set up our push ads campaign. So let's dive in.
This video is brought to you by Deberoo.com, the #1 affiliate marketing software platform.
Alright, here we are at the homepage of AdMaven, and today we are going to review their platform and we are going to try to create a push ads campaign using AdMaven's traffic. So let's dive straight in. As you can see, we're already at the homepage of AdMaven, and we're gonna first take a look if we can get some more information on what kind of ad formats they have available, which countries they have traffic for, and if they specialize in any specific verticals, which might be good to know before you choose your ad exchange, of course. So let's see, we offer advertisers high quality direct traffic to maximize their ROI and reach while providing publishers highly performing ads to better monetize their websites. Alright, so let's see what makes us pop: monetize every user, global coverage, adaptive platform, and dedicated support. Alright, let's just dive straight into the advertisers tab. Alright, endless direct traffic, over 1 billion highly performing users, dedicated support, transparency, and multiple formats. So what kind of formats? From full screen ads to push notifications. But I want a little bit more information than that. Let's see if we can get it. Our advertisers love us. This is why. Lots of traffic, over 2 billion daily impressions worldwide, generated from our full screen and native push notifications and other ad placements. Alright, high performance, easy integration, protect your brand, flexible payment plans, dedicated support. So still not more information on those other ad formats. Right here it says multiple ad formats as well, but we do not get to see which ad formats they have available. But I guess we will see on the inside of AdMaven. So let's log in as an advertiser. Alright. Let me log in here real quick and then we can get started. Alright, so this is the inside of AdMaven, the dashboard of AdMaven. And we are going to create a new campaign. So right here we have the tab campaigns. Alright, so create push notification campaign, create pop under campaign, and then right here we have the campaigns in the creative. So this will just go to the analytics, alright? But we are going to create push notification campaign. So AdMaven apparently only has push notification and pop under, alright? So even though they say on their website and a lot more, and they say that they have multiple ad formats, but they only have push notifications and pop under. So if you're looking for native traffic, for example, then AdMaven is a no-go, alright? But luckily, we are focused on push ads today, so that's a good fit. So let's create a new push notification campaign. First, we want to give our campaign a name. I'm just going to call it, very simple, Deberoo. When do you want to start a campaign? Start immediately, run continuously, or set up a start and end date. Alright? So usually I would just go with start immediately and run continuously. But for this one, let's set a start date and an end date. Alright? So we're going to start on Monday, and the end date, can we leave the end date blank? If we can, that would be great. So then we have campaign budget, total budget, daily budget, default cost per click, minimum cost per click, and maximum cost per click. We also have a recommended rate card. Let's check it out. So we have the push rate card right here. We're going to download that and open that. Let's see what kind of information is in there. Alright. Whoa, okay. So right here we have the country and the device, and then the push cost per click and the floater cost per click. So for example, if we want to run in, where are we going to run today? Let's say we want to run in Germany, all right? So Germany desktop is 2.4 cents cost per click, and the floater is 0.7 cents, all right? Good to know. So a useful sheet, actually, to see the CPCs, but we're going back into the platform. All right. So let's see, default CPC, let's set it to 4 cents, right? That was what it said in Germany. Oh, 2.4 cents, okay. So let's just follow their advice, all right? Cool, and the rest, total budget, I'm gonna leave that blank for now. Daily budget, let's set a daily budget of $100. And minimum CPC, max CPC, let's leave that empty for now. How would you like to spend your daily budget? So we can do evenly or as soon as possible. If you choose as soon as possible, AdMaven will try to spend your daily budget as soon as possible, which means that your daily budget might be spent in just a couple of hours, and that will conclude that you will not receive any data for any hours outside those first couple of hours where it tries to spend your complete daily budget. So to prevent that, they also have the option evenly, which will basically distribute your daily budget over a 24-hour period, giving you data on all the different times of the day, which is what I prefer. So I'm gonna select evenly. Then we have push traffic type. So we have wet push and floating push. Floating push in this case is just the regular push. All right, so now it makes sense when they say floating right here. Right, floater and push. So I think this is the floating push notifications, and the other one is the in-page push. So let's go back. Whoops. Let's go back to Germany. Oh, of course, desktop. All right, no worries, no worries. Let's go back to AdMaven. All right, so let's do the classic push for now. That means we can decrease our CPC a little bit because we just saw that the floating push is cheaper than the regular push. All right, I'm sorry. Yeah, so the regular push is cheaper than a wet push if I'm reading their sheet right. Allow interstitials, yeah, sure, why not? So interstitials, it's often seen as a separate traffic source, but also sometimes they will see it as a separate push type, right? So we have in-page push, classic push, and some of the ad exchanges will see interstitial as a form of a push ad, which it basically is, but it's also kind of their own traffic source. In this case, it's part of their push, so we're just going to allow interstitials as well. Allow third-party traffic, sure, why not? Then we have the campaign limits, daily clicks, first of all, so you can set a limit for the amount of clicks that you receive, and the same for the conversions. This one is very useful if your offer has a conversion cap, because if your offer has a conversion cap, you want to enter it here so that when that cap has been reached for the day, it will stop spending your budget basically, because if you keep spending and you generate conversions, you're not getting paid for it, so it's a waste of money. So as soon as that conversions per day is hit, it will stop spending your budget, even though your daily budget might not be completely used. I'm gonna leave it empty. Clicks per IP address, I'm gonna make that into 2. All right, next up is the location targeting. All right, so let's see. Locations. We have US and Canada right here, Western Europe. So what if we click plus? All right, so then we can select the specific countries. And if we select plus again, we can also select specific regions. And we can even unfold that once again for specific cities. All right, so pretty good location targeting here. That's not going to be available for every country, as you can see. So Iceland, for example, doesn't have any options for regions or city targeting, all right? But the bigger countries do. So we were going to focus on Germany today. So we're going to select Germany. Let's see, this is a little bit confusing. So I selected Germany here. Do I need to do it here as well? Well, it's already in there. Selected, yes. Ah, okay, I see. So this is just a filter for this table right here. But we selected Germany, so we should be good. Time targeting. So here you can select the specific days and specific hours that you do or do not want to run your campaign. Personally, I like to run 24/7 at the start so that I generate data for every single hour of the day. And as soon as the data tells me that specific hours or specific days don't work, that's the point where I'm going to turn those off. Be careful though, these time targeting uses Pacific time. So if you are not in the Pacific time zone, make sure that you calculate it right and that you select the right hours, all right? So if your tracker is set on Central European time zone, but and you notice that between 1 and 2 it's not performing very well, then you need to make sure that you calculate it back into Pacific time zone and select those hours in here. All right, very important, very important. Next up, the languages. So we're just gonna do German. I'm gonna deselect everything and we're gonna search for German and we're gonna select that. Perfect. Operating system, user agents and carriers. All right. So the operating systems we have right here, iOS, Android, Windows, Mac, etc. So I like to keep them all in until I have data that tells me otherwise. But if we unfold this Mac, we see the specific operating system versions as well. So we can target on that as well. All right. I do not see the carriers in here. Maybe under Windows, nope. iOS, nope. No, I do not see the carriers here, but that's all fine. Oh, maybe that's because we are doing desktop, probably. All right. So device types. No, we are not doing desktop. Desktop is in here, but it's not the only one. So I don't know why I cannot choose my carriers. That's a bit strange, but let's continue anyway. All right, so device types right here, we can select what kind of device we want to target. So let's say we only want to do mobile. All right, so we're gonna deselect TV, we're gonna deselect game console, tablet, we're gonna keep mobile, desktop, other, and unknown. Oh wait, all right, so we only have mobile in here, perfect. Device brands. So we can select specific brands, but just like with the carriers and stuff, I like to generate some data because I want to make my decisions based on data and not based on emotion or assumptions. So I'm gonna leave these all in, and as soon as I have some data on all these different brands, then I can tell whether or not I need to turn specific brands on or off or not. All right, but that's going to take a lot of time because we need a lot of data to prove that. All right, because as you can see, there are 28 different device brands selected in here, and probably one of them is other, meaning that there are even more brands. So we really need a lot of data to really say, okay, BlackBerry is not working. All right. So it's going to take some time. We're going to start with all of them, but if we have data that tells us specifically that specific device brands are not working, then we want to use this. Then we have the browsers, so we can filter on browsers as well. So we have the different browsers, and for the most popular browsers, you will always see the browser versions as well. So we can optimize on that as well. But same story here. I like to run everything at first, and once I have enough data, I can start optimizing on it, but I'm not going to start with it straight away. Auto include new browser versions? Sure. So if there is a new version of a browser coming out, do you want to automatically run on that new browser version as well, or do you want to have it turned off first? I'd like to turn it on because I don't have any data on that new browser version that's coming out anyway, so that way I can immediately get some data on it. Connection type is currently set at any, but you can also select Wi-Fi and cable or cellular specific. But once again, I like to start with any until I have data that proves me that I should change that. And then right here we have the carriers. So it's a little bit confusing because we had carriers here as well, but we couldn't actually do anything with the carriers. But the carriers are actually here. All right. And as you can see, there are a lot of different carriers in Germany, right? So 527 different carriers. That is really a lot. So that means that we really need a lot of data before we can tell whether a specific carrier is working or not, all right? Because you will generate data for 527 different carriers. So to have enough data to tell whether one carrier is working or not, you will have to need a lot of data because not all the data will populate that specific carrier, all right? So it will take some time before we can optimize on the carriers, and it's basically part of our deep optimization. So not every campaign will go as far as the deep optimization where we're going to focus on things like carriers and stuff. But definitely at the start of the campaign, we want to leave all carriers in there. And then once we have plenty of data, we can start making some decisions on which carriers to run and which not. All right. So let's press next. And all right, so we have show conversion tracking, highly recommended. Use new bid optimization. So let's check out what that is. I don't know it. Dynamically adjust and maximize bids while trying to keep cost metrics at the same level or below target value metric. Please note, during initial learning periods, bids may not be fully optimized and cost metrics may not match target value. While Optimizer recalculates its bidding models in near real time, nevertheless, it is advised to limit campaign budget initially to prevent possible overspending issues. All right, so let's turn it on. All right, so then we have the number of clicks that will be tested with default bid. After that, each sub ID will be bidding the optimized bid. All right. So this is the amount of clicks that you use the manual default bid, and after those amount of clicks, it will try and optimize your bid. All right. So let's say 100 clicks before optimization. Minimum sub ID conversion. So we can also set a minimum amount of conversion before it starts optimizing our bid. And the minimum sub ID clicks for blacklisting. So this is the number of clicks that will be tested with default bid. If a specific sub ID didn't produce any conversion, it gets blacklisted. All right. So that's a nice feature as well. So I'm not 100% sure whether you need to fill all these out. I think some of these, especially the conversion, might be very useful. For some specific campaigns, the other ones might be useful as well. For now, I'm just going to turn this off, all right? We still have the minimum sub ID clicks for blacklisting, so we can automatically create our blacklist with the minimum sub ID clicks, all right? Next up is the goals. So we can set a new goal. How does this work? I don't know. So the ID is new, fine. Let's call it goal 1 and cost per value. So the coefficient for conversion value. So let's say 5, for example. And now what? This is a bit confusing to me. I mean, it's nice that they have the goals function in here, but I want to be able to set a little bit more rules about my goals. So it's really confusing right now. I just have the cost per value and the goal name, which is totally irrelevant. So let's delete this. It's very confusing to me. I probably wouldn't use it anyway. So let's continue. All right, so then we have the IP list. So here we can whitelist or blacklist specific IPs or IP ranges. All right, so we can search for the IP right here in my list or in system, and this is for the filter right here. All right, next up, feed lists. So feed lists mode, whitelist, blacklist. Please select either blacklist or whitelist mode to enable the feed list filter. So let's select whitelist, and then right here we can add our feed IDs. All right, cool. Let's turn this off for now and let's press next. All right, new push ad. All right, so we are going to create our creatives. For title and description on mobile targeted campaigns, we advise to use 30 characters max each. So that is a advice. However, how many characters can we use? Let's check it. It doesn't show. All right. It still doesn't show. All right, so we have quite a lot of characters, but they advise to use 30 characters max. All right, so let's just call it headline 1, description 1. Then we also have these metrics right here. So we have city, another one city, country name, date, day of month, day of week, keywords, keyword, month, query. All right, so you can use all of these, and there are even more in here. So those might be very useful to juice up your headlines. All right, so for example, city, mom, whatever, right, or country, citizen. All right. So that way you can juice up your headlines with the specific countries or cities that the user is browsing from. Then we have the destination URL. So this is going to be your campaign URL, of course. I am going to type in deberoo.com for now. And then we have the images. So available sizes 200 by 200, 240 by 240. So it's just a squared image. And the same one for this one right here. So this one seems to be slightly smaller because the option 192 is available on this one and not on that one. I think I have some squared images in here. That should do. Nope, inappropriate image size. All right, let's open Canva real quick. And we're just going to create 2 images of 200 by 200. And then we know for sure that we can use them for both. All right. 200 by 200. Let's create the design. We're just going to drop a random photo in there. All right, let's download it. It's being downloaded. Upload main image. It's going to be that one. That works. Perfect. Upload icon image. We're just going to do the same one. I recommend you to use 2 different images, of course, but for now, we're going to use the same one. All right, cool. Oh, so it loaded 2 images, 192 and 200, since we used the 200. Whatever. It's the same image, but whatever. We'll just go with it. All right, cool. So now we have created our first push ad. Let's see if we can preview it. So this is what it will look like on desktop. We have that featured image here. We have the icon right here, the headline description, right? On mobile, it's going to look like this. So we only have 1 image on mobile, no icon, just the featured image. All right, cool. Next up, we can finish. And our campaign has been created. All right, so that is how you can create your push ad campaign using AdMaven. And a pretty decent platform. Some things are very confusing, especially the goal settings are a little bit confusing to me, but overall a pretty decent platform. Also some confusion around the carriers. So the carriers, at first we thought we had no opportunity to select specific carriers, but then later on we did have the opportunity to select specific carriers or deselect specific carriers. All right, so a little bit of confusing platform. Their homepage says they have multiple ad formats from interstitial and full page to push. However, they only seem to have push and interstitial inside of push, as well as pop ads, and that seems to be all. All right, so they don't have a lot of ad formats, but if you want to promote on push, that shouldn't be a problem. You just need the push ad format. However, it's a little bit of a confusing platform. It's okay, but I have seen a lot better, all right? So that's going to be it for this video. I hope you had some useful information about AdMaven and how their platform works. Of course, like usual, there will always be more to come, so stay tuned for any new videos, and then I will catch you next time. Until then, peace out.
This video is brought to you by Deberoo.com, the #1 affiliate marketing software platform.